Okay, let's talk about a statement that I hear people say all the time, or something similar to it. When I have an estate, I'll do some estate planning. Well, what does that actually mean? I hear that all the time. What they really should be asking is, when should I get an estate plan? But I understand where they're coming from, but they might have some misunderstandings here. So let's talk about that at first and unpack it a little bit. When I have an estate, I'll get an estate plan. What's the mistaken assumption there? I think a lot of people think that having an estate means that you've got this extravagant wealth and a yacht off in the south of France and a big estate somewhere, big giant chateau or something like that, all right? But it has nothing to do with your wealth or the size of the assets or the millions or gazillions of dollars that you have. An estate essentially just means, for this purposes, your assets, whatever they may be, all right? So some people have a little bit, some people have a lot, and some people have a whole lot, okay? Now, certainly it's obvious that the people that have gazillions of dollars need estate planning. They've got a lot of assets and complications that they need to plan for. But who really does need estate planning? Well, the answer is you. Just about everybody needs estate planning, pretty much everyone. So, how do we do that, and why do we need it? Well, first of all, there's a lot more to estate planning than just who's going to get my stuff when I die, right? That's what we think about. So we say, when I have an estate, I'll do an estate plan. But there's more to it than just dividing up your stuff when you die. So let's talk about a couple of the things that you're going to benefit from during lifetime and upon death. So number one, lifetime incapacity plan. Well, you want to name people that are going to help make decisions for you while you're alive, like medical decisions or financial decisions if you can't take care of yourself. You want to organize that. You also want to name guardians for your kids. If something happens to you, you want to know who's going to be taking care of them, someone that you know, that you trust, and we want to avoid the possibility of conflict, multiple people arguing to be the guardian of your kids, and the possibility that they might have to be in foster care until that's sorted out. Okay, avoid court involvement there. We want to avoid probate. Well, what's probate? That's the court-supervised process to divide up your assets upon your death. Now, that can be time-consuming, expensive, public, and maybe contentious. So we can avoid that if we plan properly with beneficiary designations or with a revocable trust. We talk about that in other videos and on my website. And you can also define a specific inheritance plan. That's important. You want to define an inheritance plan. So that's where you could get to decide how much your kids are going to get and when. Who's going to get it? Maybe it's charity, maybe it's to the kids, maybe you want it to be administered responsibly while the kids are young. So that is the part that happens upon your death. We can make that happen smoothly without probate and so on. So when should you get an estate plan? Well, more likely than not, right now is the time. Okay, so that's not unusual. You want to be able to do that now. So having a foundational estate plan is important for just about everybody. And one of my favorite books is by Gary Keller. It's called The One Thing, but kind of like a mantra throughout that. The lesson that he teaches is figuring out what is one thing that you can do that will make everything else easier or unnecessary. Well, I believe that estate planning is one thing that everybody can do that will make a lot of things much easier. Now, recently, sadly, I had two people that I knew growing up who passed away. One of them was a young father in his 30s with young children and a beautiful wife, and he unfortunately didn't have any estate planning. No life insurance even to provide security for them, and no estate planning. They're going through a lot of emotional stress right now, as well as sorting out all the financial and administrative things that they could have avoided had they just had some type of estate planning. And another was my friend's older brother who passed away. In his 50s, he had no children, plenty of assets, and now they're going through a bit of a ordeal trying to sort all of that out, finding where the assets are, because there was no planning. Now, I think that everybody knows to some degree that they need to do some estate planning at some point. I understand that we all often feel like we're not going to die anytime soon. Well, it's more than just passing away again, like I said. It's about sorting things out, making it organized while we're alive, as well as when we pass away. And I hate to break the news to you, but someday all of us are going to die. But we can plan ahead, make things easier for ourselves during our lifetime and upon our death. So what's one thing we can do to make things easier or unnecessary? Get an estate plan. So talk to your attorney, talk to me, happy to help.